Previously, we have seen types of web content. In this lesson, we are focusing on dynamic web content. We will send a customized request to the web server and it will be processed accordingly. But before that, let us look at fundamental element of web to help us build a dynamic web application. This lesson will cover web method, form, and fields in the form. The two most common web methods are GET and POST. These two are also known as HTTP requests. One of these web methods will be issued from the browser using URL or HTML form to trigger the web server. That trigger will execute the dynamic program in the application server. There are two approaches to send requests to the web server. The first one is using the URL query string. Here we have an example of URL query string. A URL query string has three parts: hostname, special server-side program to be invoked, and a list of parameters. Another approach that is used to send requests to the web server is using form. Here, we have an example of form for product registration. The form consists of some fields that allow the user to key in some information and making selection. How GET and POST is used with URL and form. HTML form will send either GET or POST when issuing a request. One of these methods must be explicitly specified in the form. If GET is explicitly specified in the form, data in the form will be appended into the URL, which means when you click the button, the data that you fill in the form will be visible in the address bar. However, POST is specified in the form, the data are packaged as part of the request file. The data will not be visible in the address bar. Let us see the structure of a HTML web form. A HTML web form is located in the body of HTML file. A pair of form tags will be used to declare the form. In the tag, we specify the action and the method. The method here is either GET or POST. In between the tag, we put declaration of form fields such as tag fields and buttons. There are three types of fields, which deals with textual input, selection, and others. Textual input requires the user to type into the field, such as text field, password, and text area. Selection allows the user to make one or many selections. For example, here we have lists, multi-list, checkbox, and radio box. There are other types of input, for example, file that permits the user to upload the file into the server. Hidden is to pass the data but not visible to the user. Submit is referring to the button that will send the form to the web server. Here in this slide, we have an example of form fields. Here we have text fields, text area, which looks like a text field due to the size, but it has special marks here that permits resizable for the field. A list, a file, radio buttons that allow only one selections, and option box that allow 0 or more selections. Each of these fields has special tags that can be used to be put within a form declaration. Another way of sending requests to the web server is using hyperlink. Hyperlink is the query string that we have seen previously. Hyperlink is provided either on image or text. A hyperlink is the URL query string that contains name of the program and parameters. These parameters contains data to be processed at the server side. Previously, we have seen the general structure of a URL query string. It consists of hostname, a special server-side program to be invoked, and a list of parameters. A URL query string consists of several parts and symbols. For example, here we have a hostname after HTTP double slashes. Then we have a question mark symbol that represents the name of the program and parameter. After the question mark, all elements are a pair of parameters and values. Each parameter will be followed by equal sign that marks the value. For example, here we have product ID, PID, category ID, CID, and store. If we have more than one parameter, it will be separated with ampersand sign. Plus sign here indicate a space in a parameter value such as accept duty free.